and hold the teeth there. Now, what's the design of the labial bow? The design of the labial bow is that it consists of an anterior bridge, big long bridge, okay, or the anterior component of the wire, which passes from the mesial portion of the canine, mesial third of the canine, to the incisal 1/3. This is the incisal 1/3, incisal 1/3 to the mesial 1/3 of the canine on the opposite side. Now I'm going to draw this design here. First, I'll draw the incisal 1/3. Now you know the teeth is anterior teeth. You can divide it into incisal, middle, and cervical third. Is it not? Yes. Incisal, middle, and cervical third. So this is your incisal third. Okay, this is your middle third, and this is your cervical third. Is this clear? Yes. Good. Now let's divide the canine into vertical thirds, 3 parts. Okay, now we have the middle portion of the canine. Okay, that's a middle canine, right? This is the mesial 1/3, and this is the distal 1/3. So we have to end this in the mesial 1/3. So I have put a dot there. Can you see that? Same thing I'm going to put on this side. Okay, now the anterior component is done. Now there's a vertical component. It's called a U. Okay, a U, which comes from the canine, mesial 1/3 of the canine, all the way round the canine, 2 to 3 mm below the cervical margin. Now this 2 to 3 mm depth depends on the sulcus of the patient. Ideal situation 2 to 3 mm above the cervical margin. Okay, but you can go up to 4 to 5 mm if there is good sulcus depth. If there is good sulcus depth and the muscles are not constraining onto the gums and the teeth. If this is not a short face with short muscles or short or heavy forces, then you can restrain your you can extend your U all the way to 3 to 4 mm or maximum 5 mm, not more than that. Okay, because if it goes in, you pull the lips down, the labial bow will fall down because of the movement of the lips. You don't want to do that. So ideally it's 2 to 3 mm. Okay, remember this. But if you make it around 3 to 4 mm, it's fine, as long as it doesn't fall down and there's good sulcus depth. Okay, so I'm going to draw the vertical, straight down, go around. I'm going to keep around 3 to 4 mm here, make a U, come between the premolar, first premolar, and the canine, and adapt it straight down to the palate. Okay, so all the way here and then down here to the palate. Same thing on the opposite side, extend it till here, come down. Remember, both the U's should be of the same length. Do not make one long and one short. Okay, again between the premolar and adapt it to the palate. Okay, this is a much easier appliance than what you're going to do for your Adams clasp. The only problem with this is it is again precision. If you make 1 mm more than this, it will go wrong. If you make 1 mm less than this, it will become short. Okay, so this is very specific here. This length, it has to be correct. If this is not correct, your U's will differ in dimensional width. Okay, it will differ in width, and one will be very thin, other will be very wide. That is wrong. Okay, it should be equal. Okay, equal width. So what's the first step in the labial bow? The first step in the labial bow is to make your arch shape or arch form. You have to get this arch form. How do you do this? Now hold the tip of the wire. Okay, you don't need to make this straight because you're going to make it round. You're just going to go run your fingers around like this to make it round. Okay, so from the other side, remember, there should not be any sharp bends on this wire. You should just rotate the wire like this to get it to a horseshoe shape. You know what a horseshoe shape is? What's a horseshoe? The shoes of the horse. Have you seen? Yeah, so something like a teardrop or horseshoe shape. Okay. Now, once you get this, remember this is smooth. There are no sharp bends on the anterior region. Once this is done, it's all complete. I'm going to keep it on top of the incisal tips here of the teeth, incisal edges of the teeth, and I'm going to see if this is touching all the tips of the canine, lateral, central, central canine, and the lateral on the other side. Sorry, lateral and canine on the other side. See, it is running on top of it. Okay, except for the posterior, it is going inside. I'm not worried about the posterior. All I'm worried about is that this wire should take the shape of the anterior teeth. That's from the canine to canine. It should be sitting on the top of the incisor edges. Now this is not the place to sit, but this is just a checking that if it is following the arch form in the anterior segment. Okay, it's just checking if the wire is following the anterior segment. Right, now it is following the anterior segment. All right, now what do? You have to make the posterior section straight. So in order to do that, what you have to do is you mark the tip of the canine on the wire on both sides. Why the tip of the canine? Because that's the middle region of the canine, the midpoint of the canine, where the canine has maximum bulge. Okay, you have the maximum bulge of the canine. So same thing on the other side, mark the tip on the wire. Now why do you do this is that you want to extend the wire outwards so that you can place the wire down and the wire will sit on the incisal 1/3 which we have drawn here. So how do I do that? Now you have the mark there. Okay, you hold and the mark should be visible there. Mark should be visible there, and then you straighten the posterior section outwards. Okay, one side. Then same thing on the opposite side. Okay, and you straighten the section outwards. Canine tip. We transferred it from the canine tip to the wire. Yeah. So now, does it look like an arch form now? Okay. Now, where should this wire come? It should come on the anterior segment, on the incisal 1/3 of the teeth. Now, okay, on the line which you have drawn, the incisal 1/3, it should sit there. Okay, where you have drawn it. Okay, now look here. This wire is touching the middle of the canine because we marked the middle of the canine here to push the wire outwards. Okay, we did it to push the wire outwards. So what do you have to do now? Where should the mark be? Mesial third, middle third, or 1/3 of the canine? Mesial 1/3 of the canine. So I'm going to mark the mark which I gave here onto the wire. The mesial 1/3 I'm going to mark on the wire. Okay, I'm going to mark it on the wire. Now I'm not going to mark on the other side. I'm going to finish this side first and then go to the next side, right? So I'm going to hold it inside and the mark visible outside. The U or the arch form should be parallel to the floor. Hold it straight, tight, and push this wire downward and forward. Downward and forward. Why do you do this? You do this because there is a bony projection here. Okay. There's a bony projection here and the base of the cast here. So you do not want the wire to come and touch these two areas. That is why you push it forward and outward. So again, forward and outward. So can you see this? If I take on the other side, you will see that it is not exactly at 90 degrees, but it is forward and outward. Okay. It is not straight down. Can you see this? It's not straight down. It's slightly angulated. Right. Now, I'm going to keep this back here. I'll show you why I did it. Can you see? Now, this will touch the mesial 1/3 and the wire will remain free from the base of the cast. Can you see? There's a gap of 1 mm there between the wire and the cast. And see, all the wire, the anterior segment should touch the incisal 1/3 of the teeth which you have drawn. It should touch, the wire should touch. Okay. In your ideal cast, there is a problem. One lateral incisor on the second quadrant, that is 2, 2. okay, is placed inwards, slightly inwards. So that lateral will not touch in this cast, okay. But ideally, it should touch all the anterior teeth from the canine to the canine, like it is touching here. There should not be any gap. Now I'll show you what is wrong with your cast. There is a gap on the lateral here because the lateral is placed inside, slightly inside, okay. Can you see it's touching everywhere except for this lateral? Yeah, okay. So except for this lateral, everything else will touch in the ideal cast. In your patient cast, everything will touch most of the time because we're giving you a finished cast most of the time, okay. But if there is a situation like this, you manage it. It will not touch if it's inside, okay. So now you see this line, same like your UV loop. You remember UV loop, straight line, curved line? Yeah, same thing. What you're going to do is we're going to mark where the U and the straight line meets. So I'm going to make the U here. So I'm going to mark where the straight and the curved line meet, right? And then I'm going to use your universal plier. Come 1, 2, 3, the third ring. First ring, small, medium, and the third ring, not the fourth one, the third ring, right? And I'm going to place it there. I should be able to see the marker. Yeah, the mark is visible there. The mark is visible there, just below the third one. And then I'm going to give the U. Now remember, some players are wide, some players are slightly thinner. So this is wide enough to go around this width, okay, but some of your players are slightly thinner. So in those cases, what you do is you have to move the player to get the width correct, okay. Is that fine? Did you understand what I said? Sure? Right. So now we have the U, okay, and let me come back and keep it here. So what is it? So remember, this should just touch the gums here. It should just touch. It should not impinge, because if it impinges, the anterior segment of the wire will move forward. If this is too tight here, this will move forward. But this, the criteria is that first wire anterior should touch. Second criteria is that this should touch the cervical region, should touch, not apply force. Remember, again, I'm telling you very clearly, it should only touch, right? So once this is done, see, I'm going to leave this side. I'm not going to touch this side now. I'm going to complete my adaptation till the palate here. Now, if you look at this portion, you will see that there's a big gap between the wire and the contact point of the premolar and the canine. Okay, there's a big gap there. I want this wire to touch inside. Okay, so what do I do for this wire to touch? Right, now, what you do is, you take this plier, Adams, you hold it on the anterior segment, okay, and you slightly push this wire inwards. Push this wire inwards. Got it? Push the wire inside. Right? Very small push, not a very big push. Very small push. Till you are able to touch. Okay, now when that touches, you see this? The anterior segment adaptation is lost. Don't worry. Let it be there. Let it be there. We can fix it. How? I'll show you. So once this is adapted, touching here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to correct the anterior portion now. Very simple step. Again, hold it at the same position here, okay, and turn the wire again. Rotate it. Why? When you rotate it, the wire turns inside. Okay. Now, when this wire turns inside, what will happen to the posterior section? It will also turn. Yes. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So when this turns, this will also turn. Okay, so what you have to do is, you have to go back and push the wire slightly outside from the canine portion. Got it? Come back. Check if the adaptation is going good. See now, this is touching and anterior segment is touching. Okay. Now, what you do is, you mark the junction contact here, between the canine and the premolar, 1 mm above the contact, like we did for your Adams, C-clasp, everything. 1 mm above the contact, mark. And you will see the mark there. You'll see the mark there, 1 mm above the contact. Remember, this should always be lower than the mark. This should always be lower than the mark, okay? In a very good ideal cast. Sometimes in your patient's mouth, the anterior teeth may be slightly down, okay? Or the contact between the canine thing will be down. So it will vary. Don't worry about it. Sometimes the patient cast, it will vary, okay? After treatment. But ideally, this bend should be higher than this bend. So hold it, mark should be visible outside, okay? And then give a bend down. Now I'm just going to cut this wire off. Okay, once this step is done, okay, once I do this step of adaptation here, once I do this step, I can start with the opposite side. Now again you will see that the adaptation is lost. Okay, so again what do? Turn the wire inside. Okay, so check everything is okay here. Check if it is touching, if it's in the incisal margin, incisal 1/3, it's fine, good. The wire, sometimes when you do this, this wire will go down. If this wire goes down, hold it here, okay, stabilize, and then push this wire up. Small push, don't push too much. If you push too much, this will deform. So small push so that it just turns. Come back, check again, it's fine. Now come for the adaptation. Again, turn the wire, turn. Come again, check. Okay, now it is touching. Now go to the next side. Okay, so all the anterior segment is touching, the mesial is touching, gingival is touching. So come to the next side, mark the mesial 1/3. Remember, this mark is very important. If I had marked this slightly inside, this bend will go wrong. I told you 1 mm short and your labial arch will become short. Whatever you do, it will not stay proper. So again, I'm going to hold it here. Mark visible outside, mark visible outside, mark visible outside. Okay, mark visible outside. And how is the bend? Straight down or forward and downward?
Downward
And forward, outward. Okay, downward and outward. So this I'm pushing from here. So I'll push it like this. So you can see the angulation difference. See, it's not 90 exact. Right? It's not 90 exact. It's not 90, so it's outward. Okay, it's outward. So again, come. Keep this here. Keep this here. So you can see it. The wire is outward. See? I push the wire outward. Little too much actually for this wire. I can actually bend this down, but I'll do it after I make the U. Okay, so what's the next step? How do I do the U?
Third loop.
Third loop, but first what do you have to do? You have to mark straight and curved. Alright? Straight and curved junction. And as he said, go to the third loop. 1, 2, 3, mark visible outside. Mark is visible outside. Okay? And give a turn. Now check. Now itself you can check if the measurement is same. Both the U's are same. Okay? So rotate. Okay, so my U is done. Yeah. Now I told you this is slightly outward, right? Did I tell you? It's slightly outward. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate it inward. Okay, just rotate it inward. We don't want so much of outwardness. We wanted to touch the gums. Okay. Now what else is wrong here? What else is wrong here?
It's still outward.
It's outward, but there is something else wrong there. Can you see that? What is wrong here?
Is that touching?
It is not contoured. It's not contoured. See the other side? It is contoured. See the other side? It's contoured. This side is not contoured. It's outside like this. Okay. So what do you do for that? You rotate it inside, inwards. Okay. So now you will see that it is contoured. Okay. It is contoured. Before this was like that. And still little more adaptation. So I'm going to push it downward. Rotate it downward. Rotate it sideways till it touches. So, see, almost done. Again, slightly downwards. Now it is touching. Okay, now it is touching. Okay, now check both sides. This is touching. This is touching. All right. So, wait. Okay. Just a small error there. This is slightly, maybe 0.5 mm longer. So I'm just going to bend it inwards to make it a little more shorter. Yeah, now it is fine. Okay, what's the next step? Contact.
Between contact.
Contact. This wire should touch. Okay, it should touch. So what do you do for this? To touch, you hold it here and then push the wire inside, slightly inside. Okay. So again, come back. Again, little more rotation, more out till it touches. Keep this there, keep this there, keep this there, keep this there, and this one. So now mark again 1 mm above. Make sure there is no obstruction on the wire. Huh? Make sure there is no obstruction on the wire. So before I bend, I'm making sure there is touching in the anterior segment. Okay, it's touching in the anterior segment. Now, sometimes what will happen is you might have 1 mm gap, 1 to 1.5 mm gap, acceptable. In the anterior segment, if you have 1 to 1 mm gap, like the lateral incisor here, okay, this gap here, lateral incisor gap here, if you have 1 to 1.5 mm gap, acceptable. Okay, because the teeth will settle in. Okay, but more than that, not acceptable, because you will try to procline the teeth and teeth will have spacing. The more the teeth proclines, the more spacing it gets. Right? So you don't want that to happen.
Doctor, where is the mark?
Sorry?
Contact area.
Yeah, it's here. No, wait, I rubbed it, my hand. Yeah. Here it is, see? It's still there, mark is still there.
The top of.
Just top of the contact, like you did for your Adams. There's no difference. Same thing. What happened?
He said, did you understand? I said yes.
You didn't understand?
No.
Sure. If you don't, please stop me. Okay, I'm just checking again before I go for the final bend. Because once I do the next bend, I don't want it to go wrong. Okay. So it looks fine. Down and inside. Cut the excess. Okay, now I'm going to adapt one side first. I'm just giving a small contour here because of the palatal prominence. A small contour, see how I do it? I just push with my finger there. Right? Down. Now you can make a tag or you can make L, mesial bend, okay? Doesn't matter. I'm going to shoot at him. He's closing his eyes. All right. So I prefer the tags, so I'm going to continue with my tags. Okay, I prefer the tags, so I'm making the tags. You can make just an L, doesn't matter, right? I'm going to check it first before I go to the next side. So it is adapting. See? Just a sec. Yeah. It is adapting down. Fine. So that side is done. Now come to the opposite side. See, I'm not holding this side, it's still touching. Right? Now adapt it this way. See, this wire is slightly moved inwards. What I will do is I will rotate it first and then bend it down. Otherwise, it will come and sit on the canine cingulum. I don't want that. It should not touch the cingulum. It should go between the two contacts. So, when I'm going to bend this, first I'm going to bend it inside and then rotate it down and adapt. So again here, make your tag before you go there, because here you will have to do a little bit of adaptation. Yeah, as I told you, you'll have to do a little bit of adaptation. Touching, touching, okay, okay.
Doctor,
Yes, yes.
the touch
Tell me.
from incisor or
Incisor.
down?
Down, down. Which you marked. See the mark, no? The mark is here. See?
Up to the middle.
Yeah, to the middle. See? It shouldn't go to the middle. Shouldn't be here. It should be here. Okay? It should not go to the middle. Middle means your application of the force on the wire is different. Because I think in your lecture, Dr. Abdullah would have told you what happens if it goes to the middle, what happens if it goes to the cervical. It's there in the lecture. Okay? You just read through it. You'll understand why it has to be placed exactly at the incisor joint. So now, if you look, whatever you do, don't stamp on it. Okay? So come back. Yeah. Now, if you look from top, you will see that it is touching. It is touching except for that lateral. Except for that lateral. Okay? And if you look from here, it is touching, 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 touching. Here also it is touching. Okay? And this is a passive appliance. It is not active. See? When I just touch it, it should move. Okay? So, little bit adaptation is left here, which I'm going to do. Always remember, if you have adaptation till the last step, and the last step something went wrong. Remember, it is not the full step. You have to go back to your last step which you did. Okay, don't try to correct the whole thing because it was correct. The last bend you did went wrong, or maybe a little here or a little there. You just have to adjust the bend. Do not spoil the whole thing which you did. Okay, most of you do this mistake in the exam, and then you get tensed because you don't get time, you don't realize what is wrong, and you ruin it. And you'll keep it so tight that when you touch, it will fly up like a spring. Okay, don't do this. Don't do this in the exam. Okay, practice now itself. Everything was correct except for the last step. That means your mistake is in the last step. Open it, rebend it. You have enough time to do it. Don't get tensed. Okay? So, final adaptation on the palate. Okay? Anterior adaptation, cervical adaptation, and it is a passive appliance. Fine? Whose pen? Whose pen? Someone give me this pen. Thank you. Your players? Your players? Just a sec.